Hello students, today we are going to study about the Bootstrap protocol. In previous session we already know about that is the mapping, and in that mapping we already know about that ARP protocol. ARP means Address Resolution Protocol, which maps the logical address to physical address. The purpose of ARP is to find out the MAC address using IP address. But in ARP, it never generated for the device of in other networks. In other networks, it is the main drawback of ARP protocol. For this purpose, we are not using this ARP protocol. Now we are going to study about the Bootstrap, which is just opposite of ARP protocol. There are three main protocols which are opposite of this ARP protocol. Opposite means ARP is finding MAC address using IP address, but in here we are mapping physical address to logical address. See here, mapping physical to logical address. There are three types of protocol we are using. Those are RARP, Bootstrap and DHCP. We already know about that RARP, which is ARP's opposite. That is, ARP is finding MAC address using IP address. It is finding IP address using MAC address. This is also same Bootstrap. Now go to Bootstrap protocol. The Bootstrap protocol is a client-server protocol. Here there are 3 points are there. The Bootstrap protocol is a client-server protocol. Here we use in this protocol as a client and server, so it is called as client-server protocol. Second point is Bootstrap protocol is used as to finding IP address using the MAC address. Here, why we use this protocol? To finding the IP address using MAC address. Bootstrap is an application layer protocol. This is a third point. It is an application layer protocol. Now we go to the diagram of the Bootstrap protocol. Here Bootstrap protocol is in two types. One is in client server on the same network, and another one is a different network. Here the Bootstrap client is there and server is here. Okay. In this request there are many types of machines, or machines are having the MAC addresses. Here what we know, Bootstrap, in this Bootstrap we know that to find out the IP address using the MAC address. Here the request goes to the Bootstrap server. Server is already know about all the machines addresses, and it replace using that. In this diagram the client sends, or it gives the request, and Bootstrap server gives the reply. This is called client server on the same network. In the client server on different network, how it works? See that here, client server application layer protocol, we already know that, and in this diagram here, see here, the Bootstrap client is here and server is here, and means this is in one network, and this is in another network. second machine in another network for sending or finding the addresses. We are finding the addresses using internet. But in Bootstrap, request is broadcast. The Bootstrap request is broadcast. Therefore, broadcast IP datagram cannot pass through the any router. It cannot pass through the router. So to solve this problem, we are using the relay agent. Here it is relay agent. Whereas the relay agent knows the unicast address. Okay. This type of unicast address, Bootstrap server, when it receives this type of messages packet, it encapsulates and the messages in a unicast datagram and sends the request to the Bootstrap server. It sends the request to the Bootstrap server using the internet. Okay, using the internet. And next, the unicast request is sent to the server. After encapsulating this, the relay agent receiving the reply. So sends it to the Bootstrap client, and next sends it to the back to the Bootstrap client. This is the process of client server on different networks in a Bootstrap protocol. Client, next point, client determines its own hardware address. Client only determines its own hardware address. Client sends its hardware address in UDP datagram to server. UDP datagram. Next point is important. After receiving datagram, server looks up hardware address of client. Okay. Here there are two main possibilities. If the client knows its own IP address and does not know its IP address. If knows or don't knows. It uses the ARP protocol, ARP on server. Okay. And on replay, Bootstrap client record its own IP address and begin Bootstrap processes continue. Lastly, the drawback of Bootstrap protocols. What are the drawbacks of Bootstrap protocols? There are 2 points. Here see is, what if host moves from one physical network to another? Means the machine, host means machine. If machine moves from one location to another locations, at that time the MAC address is not considered, it doesn't identified. And if host wants to a temporary, sometime of it wants to the IP address. In these type of two cases, Bootstrap cannot handle these situations because binding between the physical and IP address is static. You already know about this static and dynamic. Okay, the static address means all the addresses stored as in manually in table. Table manually recording is called as static. So until changed by the administrator, the table is until changed by the administrator, it doesn't changes. If it moves or it handles some times of timing, it cannot handle these two situations. Bootstrap protocols. These two drawbacks are for the Bootstrap protocol. Okay, thank you for watching. Thank you.